Boom. All right, so here was the thought is, instead of writing a detailed email message, if I could put this on film for 1 minute or so, you kind of get an idea what we're looking at. So for the advisory board, we sent you a draft of agenda, and the top half, starting right underneath strong workforce, is for the individual, call it programs, SAP, ProLogic, GTL, we've got the IP, we got the gig economy and that. Sort of like we did in our flex day, if we could do that for 3 minutes each, that would give the board an opportunity to understand the different programs that we're working on right now. So we can go through that. Then there's the foreign language advantage. Again, another 2 to 3 minutes, non-credit, 2 to 3 minutes. We'll figure out who does that. But everyone's name is next to one of their programs, and they'd be expected to do a 3-minute presentation, quick PowerPoints, not a lot of words. Then we can go with the department updates. Global Leadership, CTL Leadership Institute. We're just coming back from NACI. We may throw that in there as well, and also go for the new faculty orientation. But here's the big thing we're trying to do is to get them more involved out of their seats instead of sitting there for 2 hours. So we'll have a little mingle in the beginning. We sit people down, we go through this presentation, and then I'd like that presentation is 3 minutes each. And then what kind of activity can we do that to do it? I want to call it an activity, excuse me, but more of an exercise to get them involved. So we have 2 ideas. One is if we have much like an open house where we got the Pro GTL, we've got tax, we've got accounting, we've got IP, we've got entrepreneurship. Do we have these in, let's say, in different areas around the room with a whiteboard, and that now this becomes a brainstorming or a SAP as well, thinking of ideation, a brainstorming idea where we're looking for the board members to get up and go to each one of these stations and start brainstorming with, like for example, Aaron will be here, I'll be here, Katya and Keith will be there, IP down here, etc. So that could be one, and then each one of us could now present, and we're all standing here, we could now present what we came up with in some of our brainstorming ideas. We, of course, will have to give them not a blank canvas, but some type of, this is what we're trying to accomplish in this. What do we want to do, and what do we want them to help us do? So that's one way to do it. The second one is, and it doesn't mean we have to do one or the other, we could do both, is get an overall where we can lead them through. I mean, we're big on the design thinking. Somehow we put some stuff on the desk, or somehow we use them to get an overall idea of what kind of services they would like to get involved in. Do they want to do a pitch panel? What have they seen in other departments or other schools that they're involved in? My concern, one of the things we don't want to do is come back to or at least in my view, come back to the soft skills. Now the question is, great, soft skills, how do we integrate those? How do maybe they see us giving an idea of soft skills? Do we integrate them into each one of these? Maybe it's 1 class or 2 classes, because is it all about Business 32? That's the only way we can teach those skills? Or is it some way that in each one of these programs or each one of our classes, we're asking them to give presentations of those things? So we've got the big general one here. What kind of ideas do you all have, and how do we put that together? Haven't thought this all the way through. Or we have the breakout. So this is everyone together, just not only about the individual departments, but just in general for the business department and the advisory board. What other advisory boards have you been on? What's your experience been? How would you better feel that you could be served, etc.? Is it connections? Is it pitch panel? Those types of things. Or do we do it from an individual standpoint? So that's what we have. That's what I was going to try to put together in an email, and I think this has worked out better. Check back with you soon.